Mr. Zed Nasheet. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. How are you?
Yeah, good. Can't complain. Unbelievable. Better than good, but better than most.
Yeah. Business is going well, I hear.
Business is in full lockdown.
Hmm.
We're in full lockdown. There's nothing that we could do right now. However, everything happens for a reason. Nothing lasts forever. So we're definitely waiting for the restrictions to get lifted so we can get back into our lives and keep moving forward.
So what is it that you do? Like, I'm interested because I mean, you know, we've spoken before, and I know a little bit more about you now, but just
Sure.
for people who don't know, what do you do?
It's interesting you asked that question. What do I do? I usually try and not tell people that I'm in sales if I'm at a networking event. I guess another word for being in sales is I create wealth for people via real estate. I help people build their investment portfolios and I help them get a return on their investment. But to cut along the long story short, I'm a salesman that I've learned how to sell the art of anything to anybody out there. Let's just say I'm in the people business, just like you are in the people business. I'm in the people business. Only difference is I just sell the dream.
A very expensive dream, might I add. Yeah.
Nothing's expensive, my friend, if you've got the vision.
That's right. But you deal in high-end properties, as I understand, right?
I do deal with high-end properties, but however, it doesn't mean that I don't sell the $400,000 to $600,000 ones because I originally started from that sort of price bracket. I wanted to work. I got to a point where I sold 128 homes in 1 year, and I wanted to get to a point where I was working where I wanted to work smart but not hard. Mm-hmm. So then I said to myself and the people that was around me, some of my clients said, "Why don't you tap into the $1 million mark instead of selling 100 or 150 homes or 50 homes? Why don't you just sell 20 and just make the same amount of money?" So it's called working smart, and I can work hard. Hmm. So nothing changes if I was to sell a $400,000 house or a $4 million house. The only thing that actually changes the profile of that specific person. If anything, it's actually much easier in front of my eyes to sell $1 million properties rather than $400,000 properties because you're on the same level, same mindset, same vision. And those successful people that do live in these type of homes, they're a lot more humble to talk to start off with because they've been through the journey where I've been. They've been through the journey and they actually appreciate 10 times more than what somebody else is doing. And every expert, I always tell people, Steve, every expert was once a beginner. They would appreciate the hustle and the grind that you go through. They actually love hearing me speak with my energy and my passion because they tap into like, son, I used to be like you one day, but you're going to get burned out.
You're right. So how old are you, man?
You remind me of me. I'm 30. I'm 31, 30 or 31.
Can't decide yet. We'll sort it out later. Yeah.
I actually don't know how old I am. I think I'm just turned 31. It's funny you say that because I don't know how old I am. It's weird.
You know what? I always thought I was a year older until my wife said, no, hang on. No, you're this age. And I was like, what? I thought I was this age. And she was like, no, you're this age. No. I don't remember my own birthday. My wife has to remind me when my birthday's coming up. That's how much I care about my age.
I love it.
So how did you get into this sales industry, particularly in real estate?
I was a hot dog boy at the age of 14. I used to sell hot dogs outside nightclubs in Melbourne.
Wow.
When we first came here, I was 12 years old. I didn't know how to speak English properly. A lot of people in my school, they made fun of me, with fun of my English and blah, 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 which is fine because English isn't my first language. I speak 5 other languages that other people don't. I feel like if you speak 5 languages, that's 5 other personalities of people that you're doing their jobs. So that's how I thought about it. And I've got a very supportive mom and dad, my family, so I guess I was just hungry. I was just that hungry young kid that wanted to do things differently from the start. And I was just that hungry young kid that wasn't scared to ask the question. I saw how much, I guess, in my younger days, I saw how much people took Australia or Melbourne, some of the people took it for granted, especially where I grew up. And they were scared to ask questions to people like, oh, what if they do this? What if I get sued? What if I do? They had so much fears in them. And I just wanted that grind. I just wanted to ask the question, ask everybody a question. It's like when you go to Thailand or Bali, you get these little kids that are probably great salespeople. They just come to, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? What the hell? Why don't we have that in Australia? Why don't we have the same people? Like, I feel like I want to shift a couple of those people that are in the war zone or whatever and bring them in here they will grind like no tomorrow. They won't be able to have the, I guess, few to ask people questions. So I started selling hot dogs, and I was meant to sell those hot dogs for $4. I ended up selling for $10, $20 even, and people felt sorry for me. I was using that tactic. Do you want to give me a tip as well? Bam! I just had to ask the question. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared to ask. It's not like I'm going to see them again. They were drunk off their faces, and some of the. I guess the most interesting part was where a lot of Muslims, you know, I'm not really, I am Muslim, so I can talk about this.
You got the
they were
Muslim card.
drunk
You
off
can
their
talk
face,
about it.
you know, they were drunk off their faces, and they would still ask if the hot dog is halal or haram.
Oh, the hypocrisy, eh?
Mate, I don't get it, you know. So I think um, I think the hot dog, being a hot dog boy, it taught me so many things. It taught me how to grind, hustle, and from there, I up to year 10, I was really smart. I really stayed focused. Then year 11 and 12, you know, I got to, you know, I guess explore a different thing, you know, which is, I guess that's when my puberty kicked in. I
That's
got a
fun.
little bit famous in the ladies department, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just say that, and that's how I lost focus on my studies. But I knew that I wanted to do business. So straight after high school, I got a job at Telstra, and from I think 1 to 6 months, I kid you not, Steve, I became Australia's #1 salesman in Telstra. I wasn't scared to ask nobody, "Do you want to buy a mobile phone?" Back then, Foxtel and mobile phones was just new, and iPhones were new back then. And I'll just ask the question, dude, you got to touch this, check this out, bam, 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 next sell, someone, so what, next. Then I served a real estate agent that actually came into the Telstra store, and I will never forget her name, and I will always thank her. Her name is Elizabeth Trionze. I think she's no longer in Melbourne, but she came in complaining about a mobile phone, saying that Telstra isn't doing this, blah, blah. And then I sold her Telstra, and I signed up 3 more deals for her. She's like, I want to give you a job in real estate. Bam.
Wow, on the spot.
So on the spot, at the age of 20 to 21, close to 21, I got my first job at real estate, and I struggled for 3 years because I had no product knowledge. I didn't know if I wanted to do real estate or not. And for some reason, you know, I persisted. I had that self-belief, and she had the same belief as me. It's like, Zed, keep persisting, son. Don't give up. I'm making a lot of money. But I make money because I've got product knowledge. I make money because I'm valuable to the marketplace. And that's exactly how that's exactly how my real estate journey started. Because you know how they say some people get lucky. I don't believe in that, George.
100%.
No, luck is when preparation meets an opportunity. I was prepared to ask the question to the specific person that I wanted to be in the field. I wasn't scared to ask nobody the question. Ask the question, acknowledge what they say, then ask again. And in relation to what they've just said, apply to it. Take every single chance as you can when you're younger. Even when you're in your 40s, even when you're in your 50s, you're still young. You don't need to figure out life. That's how I look at it, you know. Life is what you make out of it, and ask the bloody question because you never know where it leads you to. You know, I am where I am because I asked the question. I'm making money because I simply ask questions every single day to random people. Don't be scared. You know what I mean?
That's such a powerful thing what you just said. It is the biggest stumbling block for most people in terms of success. They don't ask the question. They want to do it, but they let fear hold them back. And I think that has a lot to do with the mindset of the person, right? Because you said that you weren't born here. You came here. You had some issues with language and what have you. I was the same. I immigrated here when I was younger. And I think it's just a different mindset to people who, when people come from a place where there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anger and frustration and what have you, there's this desire to break themselves out of that. And I think that's where it comes from with people like us in particular, who have this drive to continue moving forward no matter what. I have to get better. I have to get smarter. I have to get, to the next level. There's just this continual drive to move forward. And I think that's one of the things that I think one of the points that you're making is that don't let fear of uncertainty hold you back, because you can experience a hell of a lot more by just asking the question, right?
Well said. Well said. Steve, if you let's talk about fears, for example. Okay, let's
Mm,
just talk about fear in general. Fear is a state of mind. It's just in your head. You know, if you don't kill the fear inside you, the fear outside can't do anything, no matter what decisions you make. Now, I think the best thing that happened to me was the fact that I was born in poverty. Now, if I lived in Afghanistan, for example, if I lived in a peaceful country and I had money from my great grandparents and I had all that land, I didn't have to hustle. But the fact that I was born in a war zone, I had a rough childhood. This is where my drive and the hustle comes from. And I definitely agree with yourself. You know that people that do migrate, they actually work 10 times harder because they understand that they have a beautiful opportunity in this country called Australia, you know, that where everybody's treated right. All you have to do is just simply pick up the phone, dial, and create the opportunity because we all have equal rights in here. And I love that. I
mm,
love that. However, see, when this is the topic that I always cover to people. You got to risk it to make it. You've got food in front of you, you've got shelter in your head, and you're in good health. What the fuck do you want? What else do you want in your life? Back in a war zone where I've come from, husbands leave houses, wives leave houses, families leave houses. They don't even know if they're going to come back in one piece.
mm,
I can't. I'm Afghan, and I'm telling you this right now. My parents are scared to send me back to my own country because they feel like I'll get kidnapped, and I will get kidnapped.
mm,
It's hard when you make a living in a war zone. You can't buy a nice car, you can't buy a nice house because you'll always have that fear inside you saying your kid might get kidnapped or you might get kidnapped, and there are people who ask you for ransom. What the fuck? Wake up! You're in Australia. You're in a beautiful country. Risk it, and you'll make it. It's as simple as that. So fear is a state of mind. Whatever you want to do in life, you will make it as long as you dream it, you believe it, and you got that objective. You got to work out how to do it, and surround yourself with the right people. You will get to your end destination.
mm,
Risk it. Rich dad, poor dad. Read that book. I kid you not. The richest people on planet or the earth are the people that actually use somebody else's money, which is called the banks. What is the worst case scenario that could happen to you? You got your health, you've got your wealth. I have a little cousin right now that is going through a massive surgery. I don't know if you saw my social media post, and I can tell you, he's fighting for his life at the age of 28 years old. He
mm,
never realized how good he had it until he's just going through his bullshit right now. People don't realize that your health is your biggest wealth. You can have all the world's money, but if you're not right here, if you don't have good health, what the fuck are you going to do with the money? So whilst you have it, enjoy it and work from the bottom of your heart, have the right work ethic, surround yourself with good people that bring out the best out of you, that actually add values to your life, that are on the same mission as you, and conquer and leave something behind.
mm. Yeah, totally true. And the thing with fear is once you've experienced real fear, like in terms of real danger, uh, going up to, and asking someone a question isn't a big deal, right? When you've faced the idea that your mum could walk out of the house, as you said, and not come back, not because of anything that she did, just because of the environment that you live in. That's a real danger. That's a everyday living experience for
That's
people.
fear.
That's
That is
fear,
fear.
man. Yeah, I'm telling you. And so, starting a business or the thing is, right? What I've noticed is that people are waiting for perfection. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, the perfect thing, the perfect person to come and say the perfect word, and then they can take the perfect step. Those people will be waiting a lifetime because
Well
that
said.
perfection doesn't exist, right? It only exists if you take the chance. As you said, the opportunity is there if you're prepared, right? And
Well said.
so if you're prepared, you'll see the opportunity. If you're not prepared, all the opportunities in the world can come and slap you in the face and you won't see them.
Well
You'll
said.
just see them as experiences that could cause you a bit of pain, right?
Well said. Some people want food in front of them and they want you to eat it for them as well. And you are going to get people around you like that. It's just how it is. Um, I strongly believe that you come to this world, you know, by yourself alone. You're gonna go back alone, and whilst you're here, leave something good behind. Have gratitude. Thank God every single day, whichever God that anybody believes in. It could be Buddha, it could be Jesus, it could be anybody that anybody believes in. However, simple things in life just to be thankful of every single day. Thank you for another beautiful day. The rest, you just go out and hustle and fucking conquer. And I asked the question, a lot of people have the fear of getting rejected on a daily basis. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll give you a good formula in here on how to overcome rejection and how to face your fears. Don't chase a yes. If you're a business owner, don't go after saying yes, 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 yes. Chase the no and get enthusiasm out of people rejecting you. For example, if I was to cold call, if I want a new business proposal, whatever I do, and I've made 1,000 phone calls, I've made 100 phone calls, it's not working. Don't chase the yes. Chase the no and get more satisfaction out of the no. For example, hi Steve, my name is Zed. I'm calling from Zed Real Estate. How are you? You want to sell or you want to buy real estate today? No. All right, good. Hi John, how are you? Good. Bam. All right. I just got another no, guys. I've had 50 rejections. Would you believe it? I love it because I was aiming for 20 and I got rejected 50 times. And then because what happens is success in sales is a numbers game. So the more no's you get, the closer you get to yes. Bam. The person that actually persists and is consistent on a daily basis, and the person that's willing to do that other people aren't willing to do on a daily basis, is a person that wins in life, not just in real estate. I could simply walk into any business out there, and all I have to do is I have to be nice. I have to keep smiling at people, and I just got to talk to more people than what my competition is. I may not have the same knowledge and the same experience, for example, in any other field that if I wasn't into, but what I will lack in skill, I'll make it up with numbers. What I will lack in product knowledge, I'll make it up with numbers. All I have to do is talk to more people. If you're in any business, talk to more people so you create more opportunities for yourself. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, the name of the game is execution, right? Because the thing is with people, they have so many ideas, especially people who call themselves entrepreneurs. They have so many ideas, right? And they don't know which one to choose. But the thing is, there is no wrong choice. You just have to execute, you have to take action on whatever idea that you have. And then you'll realize, as you said, that might be a failure, but great, at least I know that doesn't work. I'll go on to the next thing, right? Instead of seeing failure as the end, you have to see it as a step towards what you actually want.
Close us.
Exactly, right? So,
100%.
That's the thing that we both agree on. Mindset is everything, and having a success growth mindset is so important. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to achieve huge amounts of business opportunities or whatever it is. Even if you're trying to keep a home happy and healthy, mindset is crucial. A growth mindset is crucial. But how do you, in your experience, how do you get through to someone who is constantly saying that things just don't work out for me? I see other people being successful, and it seems to come easier for people. I mean, I had a client many years ago who said to me, look, she was trying to lose weight at the time, and I said, well, what's stopping you? She said, it's just really hard for me. And I said, have you seen other people who are in the same situation as you achieve the kind of things that you want to achieve? And she says, yes. And I said, what's the difference between them and you? And she said, well, it's easier for them, right? It's easier for them. And I said, how did you work that out? She goes, well, it's just harder for me. And so one of the most difficult things for people to understand is they're actually in control of what their actions are, their behavior, that they can control that. And it might be more difficult. It could be more difficult for her, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. So how do you, in your experience, how do you get through to someone? Because I know you're passionate about helping people. That's one of the things that, really kind of resonated with me when I saw your work. That you're really genuinely passionate about helping people. How do you get through to someone when they have that kind of attitude?
A positive attitude is important to have in life. And I've always said this in most of my podcasts and radio interviews, everything I've done. The energy you put out is the energy you receive. Law of attraction. What you put out is what you'll get. If you feed this mind negative energy, the whole system, the whole body will react like that. So this thing right here, when I was 20 years old, I remember, one of my, directors said, Zed, the minute you get access to how powerful this thing is, you will be unstoppable. And that's when I laughed at him back then. I laughed because I had no product. No, I had no life. What's a 20-year-old going to understand about mind power? All I wanted to do was party and just pick up girls. That's all I wanted to do at the age of 20, and then how to impress more girls around me. And I'll be honest with you. However, this mind is a powerful thing, powerful weapon. So the minute you learn how to work harder on this thing, than you do on your job force, you will be unstoppable. For people that don't believe in, saying that, oh, it's easier for him and that, I think the best thing is they need to actually have a goal written down, and they need to create a routine around it and create structure. And that way they've planned it and you've got a reason to execute. For instance, that specific lady that you mentioned that she wanted to lose weight, she should have literally weighed herself to start off with. Bam, the objective is to weigh herself. And if she was, let's say, 80 kilos, she wanted to get to 70 kilos. All she had to do was work out a strategy on how to get to that end goal. Then psychologically, every single day, she would think about, bam, I need to get to 80. I need to get to 80, but I need to eat this in the morning. Then I need to have a routine. Then I need to have to do this. I need to do morning cardio in the morning, and then afternoon, do some weights in here with this person training, blah, blah, blah. And then I've got to watch this to get to my end goal. And in about 12 weeks time, I'll be a new person. Exact same concept works for businesses. You need to have a plan. For example, this is the amount of, like for me, this is the amount of houses I want to sell. I got a plan, I've got a strategy, then I got to come up with a strategy and that deadline to it. So goals will give you a sense of direction. Goals will give you a purpose. I think that's probably my answer to a lot of people that are lost, that don't want to take any actions. If somebody else can do it, I don't see any reason why you can't do it. And I'll give you another one. Personally, for me, when the first 3 years, I didn't make any money. First 3 years of my career, people laughed at me. Everyone around me laughed at me. They say, you're not making money. But I had that self-belief, this whipping in here, because I got taught that when I was 20. Zed, when you learn how to access this, you will be unstoppable. I had my self-belief and I persisted. And I'm like, if he's done it, if she's done it, why can't I do it? He's got 2 arms and 2 legs. What is the difference? So the only difference is they're more disciplined. They're more valuable to the marketplace. Then I needed to figure out how to become more valuable to the marketplace. Then I need to increase my product knowledge in that specific field that I wanted to be in. Then I need to talk to more people so I can create more opportunities. That self-belief is what's going to differentiate you in comparison to anybody else. That positive attitude, only you can do it. Once you make a decision, you've got to stand by it and you got to execute. You got to have structure and you got to create a routine around on how to get to the end goal. Self-belief, self-discipline, self-reliance. Simply not to look at anybody else, but to yourself, and improvise you on daily basis. And you are your biggest competition. Make yourself better than what you were yesterday, the day after, tomorrow, and plan. You are your biggest competition. Learn how, learn how to work harder on yourself than you do on anything else out there. Just don't look at anybody else. Don't look at you. Are you comfortable with your image? Good. What's your why? Where are you heading? And how are you going to get there? It's as simple as that. Where have you been? Like before this podcast, you asked me the 3 W's I always cover. Where have you been? What are you doing? Where are you going? Where have you been in your life? Ask yourself, have I been doing good? Okay, maybe the things that I've been doing right now isn't working for me in the way that I've been going. Maybe I need some advice. Where have I been? Maybe I need to figure out myself who I am first. Am I happy? How do I rate myself out of 10? And if you're not happy, what are you going to do about it? And then where are you heading? That's why I said goals are important, routines important, structures important in life. And to have that discipline is what will give you the end result and the outcome.
100%. I mean, you just nailed it right there. The thing with people, right? They want to do things, but they don't know how. And they're constantly looking for answers outside of them. And what you said there is so powerful because you have the answers within you. You just have to decide what you're going to do. And if you anchor yourself to a goal, an objective. So I think what people tend to do is they'll say, I want to achieve this, right? And then they'll say, okay, I need to go through this, and this. And each time the goal gets further and further away because the things that they have to do are so huge in their own minds, right? Instead of saying, what's my next step? Instead of thinking, what's my next step in 10 years? What's my next step in the next 5 minutes? What can I do right now to advance where I'm at, to get a little bit closer? There's what they call those micro progressions. So a slight little progression closer to where I am. And then acknowledge that, right? Celebrate that, but not too long. Don't go crazy, but just acknowledge that you achieved something that you didn't think you achieved, that you could have achieved before. So 100%. So you touched on your childhood there, in Afghanistan, and what can you tell me about that experience? Like, what are your earliest memories of that time in your life?
The When we migrated, I was only 6 months old, and the things that I remember from my childhood is like we used to live. There was five of us in one bedroom. Sorry, six of us in one bedroom, and there was 14 people living in a two-bedroom apartment. And you
Mm,
can imagine the amount of like, discomfort, on daily basis with one bathroom, 14 people.
mm,
Imagine that. Well, I would take showers outside with a little bowl and little bucket. Bam, let's go.
mm,
I didn't know what showers look like. I didn't know what
mm,
proper bathrooms look like. So I did go through a lot in my childhood, and there was racial comments made every single day. People weren't treated right. We went through a lot during our childhood, and this is my dad having a comfortable lifestyle from where he was and his father and blah blah. Like my grandfather used to make tanks.
mm.
You know, and he used to fight with tanks. Like, I mean, he was in the army. He was a general.
Oh
He
wow.
had a comfortable lifestyle. So my dad had a comfortable lifestyle, and from that to going into migrating to a different country where we weren't treated equally, it was a big shock.
So when
And
you
that's
can,
why
let me stop you there. When you say
that's all right.
migrated, that wasn't here, was it? That was from
No,
Afghanistan
this is from Afghanistan to Pakistan.
to Pakistan, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And you said you
Yeah.
experienced some racial issues there. Well, why is
Every
that?
day, every day. All Afghans and Afghanistan and Pakistan in general, they just don't get along.
Hmm.
It's like Pakistan. If you look at the history of Pakistan and India, they've never gotten along.
Yeah.
I don't know much about politics. I'm not interested in that. I'll be honest.
Hmm.
But it's just those tough times that I went through as a childhood. I'm not generalizing what the whole thing, but mainly the African community went through a lot. Mainly,
Hmm.
like I'm talking to a lot of people. I'm talking like millions of people to migrate. We weren't safe in our own country, so we had to migrate.
Hmm. Because
You
Afghan's
know,
been at war for decades, right? It's since what? Since the Russians, the Soviets.
Prior to that,
Before that.
Afghans have been in war for 50 years nonstop.
Hmm.
Some parents are uneducated, grandparents uneducated. Imagine 50 years of your life being uneducated. The amount of orphans there are, the amount of orphanages there are in Afghanistan, it is ridiculous. You know, people walk past me sometimes. I go to Melbourne CBD and there's a druggo trying to ask for some money to buy more ciggy. Bro, can you buy me ciggy, please? You call yourself homeless? You did that to yourself. You really want to know what a homeless person looks like? Go out to Afghanistan. I'll see if you can last for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes if you can last on the roads. Millions of little kids are, uh, they're in orphanages, and there's no love from mum. They don't know. They don't know what proper, attitude, or they mum and dads, they fight and they just work all day just to bring in a piece of bread for their kids over there,
Hmm.
being a war zone. So that's why I appreciate the little things in life, and that's why I say gratitude is everything. And that's why I always pray to God, Steve, that I want to be invincible. I want to be so powerful enough so I can help others around me. Whether they're
Hmm.
in need or not in need, at least I can direct them through education, through passion. So I can help those people say, no, you need to do this, you need to do that. For example, a lot of kids in the Middle East, or even some of the countries in Europe, parents force their kids. I was one of them. They force their kids to be an engineer or doctor, blah blah, or an accountant. To just be that, and that's the only option you have. Well, if I become a doctor, who's going to be a wedding singer? Who's going to be a chef? Who's going to cut hair? But those are important as well. But
Hmm.
they don't look at it like that. Who's going to be a builder? Who's going to be an architect? They just don't know all that stuff. They just don't know because of that war zone. And I don't blame them. I don't blame our parents and everybody else's parents. However, if you only communicate with your child enough, rather than just telling them what to do, not be a boss, and say, son, I want you to be a dancer if you want to be a dancer, but I want you to be the best fucking dancer in the world.
Right. Yeah, you got to
There's no
rock
room
it.
for
Yeah, you
second
got to
places.
rock it.
So then that way you can leave, and help others around you. The worst thing, there's nothing good I can talk about my childhood. It's -1,
Hmm.
-1 out of 10. There's literally nothing good I can say about that specific country that I lived in, but I'm not going to generalize it. I didn't have a good childhood. None of us had a good childhood. You know, the kids were getting, the kids were, you know, there was pedophiles there. There was racial comments in there. There was literally, Afghans got taken, they've been taken advantage of for the last 50 years nonstop. So that's a full stop to it. So that's why the drive and the hunger comes from, because of that experience that I've had, Stevie.
100%.
You know?
And see, the thing is, right, from my own experience as well, when I relay my story to people, they look at me like, oh my God, how did you cope? How did you manage? How did you survive that? And it wasn't pleasant at all. As you said, our experiences are different, but similar in many ways.
Of course.
But right now I've reached a point in my life where I see that as a gift. I see that as my superpower. Right? If I didn't have that, as you said before, I wouldn't be who I am. More importantly, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing in the world and having the impact that I'm having on the world with the people that I
want
work
to
with.
thank you for putting me on right now, and the fact that you're actually taking the time out of your day to try and give back to the people. I think that's an amazing thing. That's good. This is the best thing anybody could do, to be able to get other people out there and give back. I love that. So you're creating value to the marketplace, so that something that they can leverage off. I love that. Good on you.
Man.
I want to thank you. You know, I'm proud of you. Thank you. Keep persisting it. You know,
that means a lot. Thank you. And that's one of the things I said. That's one of the things that resonated with me when I saw you, is you have that same kind of desire to improve the lives of other people, right? Because most people live in this world where they think there's a certain amount of success. There's this pie. There's just all the success there is in the world. And if you take some success, that means there's less for me to take, right? But what they don't realize is, and this is the difference between the ultra wealthy, the really kind of high performers. They understand that if they help others succeed, it means there's more success for them. Success creates more success. It doesn't take away from it. And so this is why when I meet people like you, I want to give them an opportunity to show people that you can be successful and also a really good person. You know, there's this idea of wealthy people who have money are essentially assholes. They've gotten to that point because they've screwed people over and what have you. And 100% there are people like that out there. But the vast majority of people that I've met anyway, they're passionate about helping other people because they know, especially if they've been through experiences that you've been through, they know how tough life can be. And they know that if someone didn't come and help them, they would be stuck in that same place as well. So
you've hit the nail on his head, Steve. This topic I always cover. Think about it. I worked for other organizations for 8 years. Last 8 years, I worked for organizations like every massive organization, real estate company you could, you know, I'm not going to blame the organization. Those big, I thank you for the opportunities, but every single director I worked for in the past, besides one director, her name was Norma Buller, and I still admire her till right now. And she's still amazing and beautiful because yes, I did struggle, but without her being on my side, giving me that vision, I wouldn't be where I am right now as well. She used to mentor me, and now I mentor her. Would you believe it? 10 years ago.
I love it.
Last 8 years, Steve, I worked for people that were money hungry. I worked for leaders that put themselves first, you know, and that put money first. I worked for leaders that was all about them. They didn't care about you. It was all money. And they always put money first before yourself, before the employees, and they would screw you any day to protect themselves when it comes to money. And the worst thing was, when I worked for other brands, they always relied on their staff to make money, to build their dream up. I just wish somebody like yourself, you know, could have done a podcast earlier back in the day, so I would have been guided towards the right path. So for the people that's tuning into your podcast right now, I want to pass on one message. Dude, if you're working for people that aren't innovative, and you've got a dream, you got to protect it, you got to go out there, chase it, And if you're working for somebody else that is trying to get you to make money by giving you a lot of bonuses and all that, you need to understand what your value is. You need to value you before your consumers see the value in you. They will take advantage of you if you don't stand up for yourself. You'll always be part of somebody else's plan if you don't create a plan for yourself. But once you've got the skill, once you've got the right work ethics, once you've got the right discipline in life, go out there and create your own stuff. My life boosted from here to here only when I stopped giving a fuck about what other people thought about me. My financial status went from here to here because I didn't give a fuck about what other people's opinion was about me, whether I did this, whether I did that, blah, blah, blah. However, to my consumers, I treated them like a god, if that makes sense. My consumers, I made sure that they had next level of service, including plasma TVs, including wines, including everything, including anything to do with anything. I made sure that I gave them the best experience ever. I didn't care about the politics and the people that worked around me. I didn't have time for them. I simply focused on me, and I knew that there was an end goal, and I knew that I wanted to get out of it because of the amount of shit that's involved in bitchiness and the sales environment and the politics that I was involved in. I hated it. And that's why a lot of sales, younger people that they do get into the sales industry, they get demotivated because of the work culture. So I want to pass on that one message to all the entrepreneurs, to every single youngster, or anybody out there. Doesn't matter what age bracket they're in. If they're not surrounding the right work culture, right people that have the right work ethics, that have the same discipline, they need to get out there ASAP. Because if you've got a vision, you've got to protect it, and never ever let somebody else tell you that you cannot do this, you cannot do this. It will take you time. It's okay for you to make mistakes because we're humans. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And I'll tell you one more thing in business: never trust nobody. Don't trust nobody when it comes to money. I'm telling you this right now. Don't trust nobody, because this is your goal. This is your dream. Less chooks in life, less shit. And I can tell you this right now. Nobody wants to do business with you out of generosity. Even if there's generosity behind it, there's still something else behind it. Make yourself valuable to the marketplace. People will chase you. That's okay. It will take time. Rome wasn't built in one day. It takes 6 months to build a Rolls Royce and 6 minutes to build a Toyota Camry. There's a reason. Quality in life speaks for itself. Work with people that actually understand the value of life, that are passionate about life. Work with people that actually understands you, they're on the same mission as you, that don't put money in front of you, that actually put you first and help you, guide you, educate you on how to get to the level. Because you're right. I love the fact that you said those rich people there, they take the shortcuts. And I'm telling you right now, there's no shortcuts in life. They take the shortcuts and they become arrogant and they forget where they've come from. There's thousands of them. They want you to go out there and chase it. There is thousands of them. I know so many of them in my area. I can name them, but I don't want to name them. But however, it's just respect. It's just respect. If finally you say to your staff members, I want you to work with me because I want you to build a bigger thing than me. Let's work on it together. You help me achieve what I will achieve, and let's just achieve together. We're all a team. However, I'm not relying on you for me to get to my dream. You shouldn't be. Because every time you expect something from your consumer, from your friends, from your staff, they always let you down. Human beings, they will always let you down when you expect something. So the best thing is just to look specifically on yourself. And if you want to learn the necessary things, whether it's accounts, if it's this department, if it's that department, learn how to, learn all the tactics and the technique, and then just do it yourself.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Well said. The thing is, it really breaks my heart when I hear people say, and it's true, right? When people say, just
Sorry,
like
I got a bit emotional there, man.
No, I love it. I love it. I love the emotion. Listen,
I went on for a little bit there, because of the experience that I've had, these dicks that I've had to work for, and I can literally, there's nothing good I can talk about besides only a couple of people in my life, in my career. I'm so sorry about that,
And see that again, that's heartbreaking to me, because that's not how it should be. That there's a different way of doing things, and those people aren't truly successful, because no matter how much money they have, they're not truly successful. The ones who are genuinely successful are not like that. I can guarantee you.
I don't respect them, Steve.
Yeah, 100%.
I used to work for them. I should be talking good about them.
Yeah, 100%.
I shouldn't have to talk about it like this. You know what I mean? But without them, I also thank them for giving me all this, bullshit, feeding me all this bullshit all these years, because without them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Now, if I look at him at a party, if I at a barbecue, wherever I go, I have no respect for the guy. And I'll always talk this because of the experience that I went through. And you know what's funny? They haven't done it to one person, the other person. They've done it to multiple amount of people. It's just how they've been brought up. They will always put money first. So money is not important. I can guarantee that you can have all the world's money, but if people don't respect you, it doesn't mean anything. They don't admire you. They don't look up to you. If you don't inspire, it doesn't mean anything.
But the thing is, Zed, it's not even that other people don't respect you, is that you don't respect yourself.
How can you go to sleep?
But you can't look at yourself in the mirror and know that you've been treating people so badly just because you think that using them or abusing them will make you more money. But it's truly sad because those people, see, I don't think there are necessarily evil people out there like that. What I think is just the people who are doing what they can with what they know. They've been taught, they've been programmed or conditioned to think that, as you said, there's a finite amount of money, amount of success, amount of happiness, whatever it is. And if they don't get it, then someone else will. And if they see someone else getting it, then that somehow they lose out. And I think that's the mentality.
That's what I got taught.
100%.
That's what I got told.
Yeah.
Right. Like, Zed, I don't want you to share this because if you were to share this with your competition out there, don't you think they'll learn your style? They'll learn your tactics and all that. I said, are you serious? I said, isn't our purpose in life to be able to give back and help others what they want first as well, and to be able to get more, knowledgeable people to be able to help more people out there through your skill that you've learned in life, to be able to educate them and help them get to what they want. And on top of that, isn't that what we're supposed to do as human beings? Isn't it's our job to be able to give back? They're like, no, see, I can sit down here, Steve. I'll give you all the scripts and the dialogues and everything else. I can give you all my techniques of sales. They're the best selling methods ever. However, I will have my own way of delivering a message to you. You will have your own style. We'll all have our own styles. There's so much competition out there, especially in the real estate industry. No. Believe me, a lot of people say, what's your point of difference? The point of difference is that there's only one person that looks like me out of 6 billion people out there. That is my point of difference in my business. Have you ever met a Zed that look like me? No. Well, then there you go. That is my point of difference. My work ethics are different. My life disciplines are different. How can you compare me to somebody else? Oh, no, you can't do this. You can't do that. Well, just because you haven't done it doesn't mean that I can't do it. This is my experience. You don't want to share your knowledge to somebody else out there. You don't want to share your techniques to somebody else. I'll fucking share it because I'm all about sharing. And that's one thing that they don't understand as an organization. As an organization, like, don't teach your techniques to somebody else. And my answer was always like, fuck you. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it. And you know what's even more interesting? You go to an entrepreneur seminar, they always share this bullshit thing. I want you to sign up for $4,997 out there, and I'm going to share the secrets of this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it is good to learn, but it's a ripoff. For example, you got to preach what you practice. When you talk about sales, you have to be in the game yourself on a daily basis. Hustle. Straight after this podcast, I'm going to pick up the phone, bam, I'll go call someone else out there. How many life coaches do you know that haven't gone through shit that you just want to be a life coach?
I know a lot of 19-year-old life coaches out there that are out there trying to help people, and honestly, they're not.
How do you respond back to it?
Well, you have to let them go through their own process. And the thing is, right, what I've found is, again, with life coaching, with any kind of coaching, with any kind of business, as you said, there are customers or clients for different types of people. That's why there are many religions in the world, right? Because there's more than one way to tell a story, and there's more than one approach to get to the same destination. If the destination is success, there are multiple ways to get there, and there are multiple guides and people to help you along the way. I don't have to go through the same experience as someone else. I can go through my own, and I don't have to rely on other people becoming unsuccessful in order for me to become successful. It doesn't affect me. If someone tomorrow I know becomes a billionaire, it affects my life 0%. Or if they go broke, I mean, it would break my heart, and I'll try to help them, but it wouldn't affect my life. My day-to-day life would continue as it is. So why am I worried about if I can help someone else succeed, why am I worried about them succeeding? You know, because if it doesn't affect me, why should it be an issue? But
Awesome.
it's some great points that you made, and man, we could talk for hours, honestly, on a whole range of different topics. But I think we'll end it there. And at the end of it, I just want to get any last thoughts, any ideas, any last tips, any experiences that you've had that really had
Sure.
have a major impact on you that you wanted to
Sure.
share.
Finally, what I want to share is that I wouldn't be where I am if people's opinion had to be a reality. And I'm going to repeat this again. People's opinion doesn't have to be a reality. Just because someone else has tried and they failed, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. They will have different work ethics, different life disciplines. They will look at life in a different way. It's exactly like what you said. Religion, there is multiple religions out there. It's how you look at life. I feel like religion is a way of life. It's about doing good because it all comes back to your intentions originally, anyways. Having that gratitude, always be thankful for your friends, your loved ones around you. The fact that you're breathing, there are thousands of people that don't have that same opportunity. They're lying on their sick bed. They just want to get up and look at the sunrise and have a good cup of coffee and they're good in good health. Don't focus your energy on negative people because if I did focus on negative energy people, I wouldn't be where I am. I was the first 25-year-old that drove a Lamborghini at 25. I'll tell you this right now. And if I would have cared about people got shocked the fact that I wanted to share my dreams with them. I wanted to get a helicopter at the age of like 24 because I was surrounded by people that, and then every time I wanted to share that vision with people, they would laugh at me because that's where their knowledge and their mindset stops, the average mindset. And that's why I'm saying, you need to surround yourself with good people, people that bring out the best out of you, people that add values to life, people that can encourage you. Say, Zed, if you want a helicopter, why don't you get a jet? Why don't you get 2 private jets with your name on it? That's what's most inspiring. You can never ever tell people what to do, how to do their jobs, or what type of attitude you can have. You can always inspire people. You're taking drugs, okay, good. You're on alcohol, good. You can only inspire somebody else on how to live a better life. Whatever you do in life, focus on yourself. Life is 10% what happens, 90% how you respond to what happened. Your life is what you make out of it. Yes, you are going to get negativity. Yes, you are going to get some people. Yes, do I have any haters on my social media and my database? Do I have jealous people? Yes, I do. I'll bring Jesus down at 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon into planet Earth. People will still say, he needs a haircut. People will still make comments. Think about how many times Jesus got rejected on a daily basis. Think about how many haters he had. For example, I'm just giving you an example. However, whatever you do in life, live for yourself, bring no harm out there, and just enjoy the little things. That's it. You got a dream, protect it and chase it, and never ever have any intention of doing anything wrong. Why would you fail? You got to risk it to make it. And if you want to build it, like I want to build the tallest tower in the country, I need to surround myself with people that's already built those towers out there in Melbourne CBD, so I can learn something. Then I can implement it in my own way. Whatever you do, don't listen to the naysayers. There are a lot of negative people out there. You put a negative person in a dark room, you'll still find something dark in there. I can guarantee you that. So stay away from it. Surround yourself with people that bring out the best out of you. And that's how I want to end this podcast. Thank you so much for having me. I love you, mate. God bless. You've got a beautiful soul. You're trying to give back to the community out there. I'm so proud to call you as a friend now. I'm so proud to call you as part of one of my guys that's in the same network, in the same field. Thank you.
That's beautiful. That was actually very moving what you just said. And it was so on point. And I feel the same way about you, because we share this common bond. And I, if people want to get inspired in life, go spend some time in a war-torn country. If you want to get motivated, if you want to get inspired, go spend some time with people who are actually doing it tough, and then come back and see how tough your life is. And it's such a beautiful conversation, Zed. It was just, as I said, I could talk to you for hours. And again, I'm the same. I feel like we've started a beautiful friendship here, and I can't wait to see how this unfolds in the next weeks, months, years.
We'll catch up for sure once I'm down in Brisbane. I come there quite often because of the weather. I love it, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.